All right, so we're gonna get right on into the story. 15 minutes. I'm giving myself 15 minutes. Um, so let's get started. And we'll get started right after this. All right, I'm back, and I am your host, Shantae Washington, and this is the breaking good news. The breaking good news. Um, so let's get started. So, as I was saying yesterday, um, how what was I saying? Okay, so I was saying a specific subject that is long ago history in our past and more, which means it happened before us or while we were here, and it could be still happening. Because history don't stop. Like something could be history that you just did a second ago. Okay, so before it occurred before, and now we are not present enough to know that this mental state is wrong to be in because it's causing the inner child to be stirred up or something. And that is an automatic spoiling of the child right there. That's an automatic spoiling of the child right there. Sparing the rod, as I get off into this, sparing the rod is when we become afraid to do this. When we become afraid. Okay. So sparing the rod is when we become afraid. I'm sorry. Excuse me. Sparing the rod is when we become afraid. Okay. And we become afraid. And this is just, this is mostly um our leaders, our leaders. They become afraid. And this is due to this emotional state that people can put you in, or that place of what you remember a long time ago, that state of mental can put you in a place with whoever you meet. This is the wrong way of thinking. And you sparing the rod, it is when we become afraid, and that is due to the emotional state. And the emotional state is long enough to be in faith. You're so emotional that there's no faith behind anything that's an operation of you. Like, you can't operate. And that's because somebody stirred you up into that state. And it's things behind you as well that's stirring you up. So you have to be in faith long enough to make a commandment, also known as making a command. A commandment is the same thing as making a command. A command is the same thing as a commandment. No matter what you say, a commandment, according to the Bible, is the same thing as making a command. Okay? All of the commandments in the Bible, they were commands. They were specifying what you needed to complete being in the bodysuit. They were things that you needed in order for you to live in this bodysuit. You had to make commands, which is the same, that commandments. They're not separated. They're just not. You was going to need these things because these things were going to make you a better man of God. A better man of God. That's what these things were going to do. So the Father does not have no respecter of any man. Even if you're his child, even if you're his child. So whoever makes these commandments at any time, he is looking at you at that time. He's looking at his children make that commandment. God loves that. When he sees you making a commandment, that's called being honest. That's called being honest. When you make a commandment, you being as honest as you possibly can when you rolling up to somebody. When you coming face to face with somebody and you make a commandment, you are basically being honest. You being honest with who you are. You being honest with what it is. You can't control how somebody feel about the commandments that you make. They're in the Bible. The commandments are in the Bible. The Bible speaks them heavily, wholeheartedly. Because we are not to lie, L-I-E. We are not to commit adultery. We are not to sleep. Okay? And mostly this is me speaking to that man out there who still refuses to talk to the woman the way he's supposed to talk to her, okay? And save all that anger and that easily angry stuff to the birds. Get rid of the easily angered person. You supposed to did that stuff for the surrounding parts, not coming at me. You can't make a commandment at me because you're looking at me. It's easier to blame it's easier to blame somebody that's right there. But it's supposed to be the woman and the man and the child as a unit, as a whole, as a family structure towards the people that's coming in on us to mess up with the next generation that we trying to build. That's actually what it's supposed to be. So many people just laughing and laughing in your face. Laughing in your face. Because we still doing it separately, taking each other to court. And this brings me to keeping the commandment and what I know the commandment says, and how I know that this is the enemy. This is the trick of the enemy. I had a dream this morning, and it was trying to stir up my emotions. And I knew that it was trying to stir up my emotions because I've been like just keeping it honest. And in the area I need to be honest in, okay? And I had this dream that I had the one dream was about my baby father and him and him letting me know that basically being honest, telling me what it is that he's wanting. Okay, he telling me what he wants. He being honest, which is something that that it is in the spiritual realm. But a lot of people, they are who they are in the spiritual realm, but they're not uh, confessing that truth in the physical. So therefore, you dealing with a liar. Okay, somebody who's not being honest with themselves. So, and this is not to bash my baby father, because that's not what I'm doing. What I'm doing is giving men out here an example of what the Father is presenting me with, which is causing me to consistently know what, can what the Father give to me and what I can relate that to in those memories. It's like trying to organize the stuff in your mind. It's just organizing it. Okay. And that's the same thing as peace. Okay. Bringing down the two edge of the sword, peace. So I had this dream, and the dream was about my baby father, the first part of it, and it was trying to stir up my emotions. And I saw that, and I spotted it head on. And in the next moment, it put a thought on my head. It put a thought in my mind. And the thought that it put in my mind was how I needed to take it was just trying to get me to do something against it was trying to get me to do something against um it was trying to get me to do something against the man. It was really trying to do this. Now, if I did what it said for me to do because of the safety of our child, if I would do what it's telling me to do because it's showing me different things that my baby father is doing and how he's trying to conjure up different things and do it against me. It wants me to do something so drastic to the point where I looked at it and I heard it being put on my mind. And this is how the enemy does the trickery. He tries to do things by, because I know that my baby father, he doesn't understand. None of I have two baby fathers, and neither one of them understand what it is that they operating out of. But this is the thing. I understand that. I do. And the enemy wants me to do something towards the situation. The more and more my baby father stirs me up and trying to play games. It's like it want me to go hard with him because he's continuing to do things against me, the woman, instead of appreciating and respecting me in order to get the respect that he deserves. And I know he deserves the respect, which is why I refuse to speak to him per se. I refuse to speak to him because I don't want to be the one to disrespect him based off of how he yells at me, how he talks to me, and we can't get to a common ground. I understand that I'm the woman. I'm willing to be the feminine woman that I am, which is the woman of God that I need to be in order to be with the man of God that I need to be with. But if that person is not a man of God and receiving from the Father above, he receiving from everybody else, his mama, his daddy, his sisters, his brothers, everybody else in his business, and he putting them in it, I can't take no advice from that type of man, because that man is not fully capable of being a king. He's a kinsman. He's a kinsman. Okay, he take advice from everybody else but from God above. He don't need nobody in his business. He need to handle his business himself. 15 minutes is up, but I'm gonna keep going. But anyway, that is my dream. The enemy was trying to stop me from growing into this more powerful woman that I already am with Christ. It wants me to operate in my flesh against the man, just because this man don't know what it is that he's doing. And I refuse to do that. I'm not gonna do it. And I told myself today, as I got up, I said, the mind don't feed me nothing. My belly does. You get it? My mind don't feed me nothing. My thoughts don't feed me nothing. My belly does. And I'm hungry. You understand? I'm hungry. My belly does. I'm hungry for Christ, and I thirst for Christ, according to the Bible. What it say? Hunger and thirst. Okay? I hunger and thirst for Christ. That's my belly. In my belly. My mind and my thoughts don't have control over me. I don't go to my thoughts and my mind and all that. It has so many things that come across it. I don't got time for it. But my belly, oh man, it is what's being breathing. It breathes, and it's a whole gut down there that eliminates waste. You understand? Okay, do you understand that? It eliminates waste down there. Everything comes out physically, comes out. Everything is held up in my mind. Okay? It tries to ooze out that way. You know, it tries to ooze out that way. But that ain't the correct place it's supposed to come out of. It's supposed to come down out of where the gut is at, in that area. The waste goes down. Everything get cast down. For a reason. So I refuse to do that. But I'm saying that because how things stir you up for emotional purpose. And when it stirs you up for the emotional side of you, it then wants to friend you. And then once it friends you, then it becomes, it's already planted in your mind what it's going to do. Okay. And if you don't hear if you do not get it, if you don't get the message of what it's saying, like it said to me, do such. If you get over on your emotional side, you're going to forget what it said. And then you're going to start going at it with that thought in your mind. I don't got time for that. I don't got time for the emotional state. I got things to do rationally. So it's all about making a commandment to flesh. Sparing the rod, spoiling the child is when you become so too afraid to make a commandment to flesh to bow down. Bow down. Don't got time for the emotional state of being. Flesh has to bow down so that my spirit man can take over it in a supernatural way, so that it can be able to be transforming by the renewal of my mind. And the renewal of my mind is in my belly. That's the renewed mind. Because God said the bitterness is in the belly. That's what he said. He said that once you get the food in, you eat of everything you need to eat of through the sensory, not the sensors, sorry. The sensors is in the flesh, but the sensory is in the spirit. And once you eat up the sensories and you get it in, it goes by the renewal of the mind. The renewed mind is speaking of is in the belly. Do you hear me? The renewed mind ain't up here in the mind, up here in the head where the hurt and all that stuff is at. That's not the renewed mind. The renewed mind is in the belly. That's your renewed mind. Because all of that bitterness, God said, it becomes so bitter to the point you gotta get it out. You have to let it out. That's the renewed mind. Up here with these thoughts and all that, that ain't got nothing to do with it supernatural. This the old stuff. That ain't even the new stuff. That's the old stuff. That's the old man. The old man used the mind up here where the hair is attached to it, up at the head where your face at. But your renewed man, it used what's in the belly. Your renewed man use what's in the belly now. What's in the belly? That's why Christ was able to go on a fast for so long without eating. All that stuff was in his belly. He didn't have time to eat. He was eating of the spirit right there in the belly. The food was already planted there. All he had to do now is when it was time to move, move. When God told him to do what he had to do it. That's it. And that's all our men have to do. But yet, here it is. They want to deal with these women that they think is the one. But a woman like me that send you out into the world clean, you want to dog me out. You want to make sure that I don't get to be able to make you clean because you don't feel like you deserve to be clean. You don't feel like you deserve the woman like me. And I'm not trying to make it seem like I'm all that. This ain't that. I'm talking about the woman who need her man and children to grow up. That's what I'm talking about. The confidence of that is mighty. The confidence of that is strong. This separation stuff that the enemy keep trying to plant in the old mind, which is up at the top, and not the new mind or renewal of your mind, which is in the belly. That's the renewal of the mind right there in the belly. He trying not to let us be in there. He don't want us there. They want us to operate in our emotions so that we can see what's on this in this head of ours at the top. That ain't renewed. That's the same old gooky stuff that got planted in when we was in our mother's womb, when we first got in our mother's womb, and then came out. And then everybody start thinking that I know that I'm this now because I have dreams. No, that was the whole conjuring up of your emotions to get you involved in what they already was coming at you with behind the scenes, the unknown, to get you to believe what was already on your mind when you first hit the flesh, the sin that had been on generations and generations history ago. We need to learn how to leave these people dead. We understand what they did. I understand that. We hear they're gone. Now we got to do what we need to do and transform and be transformed by the renewal of our mind. The renewal is in the belly. That's your mind. And in there, it could see things. I wanted to share my not experience, because I don't even care nothing about experience. Who cares about experience? Nobody cares about that. Okay. Over all the stuff that I've been through from a child on up, I can begin to tell you, who cares about experience? Who cares? No matter how long a person done something, I don't care. Shucks. But anyway, let's keep it moving. Okay, so let's get back on topic. Again, the Father is not a respecter of any man, even if you is his child. So whoever makes these commandments at any time, he is looking at you at that time. And because you didn't get emotional and unstable about it, you made a commandment. This is not to say that you first stirred somebody up, then got low on your voice and how you talk, or anything emotions are dictated on. You know, because we dictate emotions on how low somebody got or how high in the vocals they became. You know, no, that does not dictate how emotionally unstable you are. What dictates how emotionally unstable you are is whatever is in the top mind right here, not in the belly, but whatever is in this mind up here, you get it off. You say whatever is in your mind, you say it. This is the top of here. You say whatever's in there, right? Which is why you should know that the renewal of your mind is in the belly. You're supposed to say whatever in there. It's a difference. It's a difference from the top mind and the bottom mind. It's a difference. It's a difference. Okay? You say whatever is renewed in there. That's renewal. All that stuff, that's renewed stuff in that mind right down there. You say what's in there, not what's up here at in the top of your, you know, where your head, your face is at, that head. You don't say what's up there. You say what's in your belly down there. So sparing the rod, spoiling the child, is all about you being fearful of making the commandment down in this belly right here. You're afraid to use what's in the belly because your mind keep telling you what to do. Oh yeah. You keep refusing to testify from the belly. Prophecy from the belly. You're refusing to do it because your mind keep getting in your way. You can't even say half the stuff that you want to say because your mind at the top keep getting in your way. So you're confused, which is why nothing can get done because the mind keep playing tricks on you, and that ain't even your real true mind. The more and more you use it, it forgets. But the stuff that's planted in your belly is never forgotten. It always going to remember what it needs to be, what it needs to remember down there in the belly. It never forgets because it's always sprouting up things for you to say. Say if you forgot something, it's going to sprout something up and put it on your tongue. That's the renewed mind, the belly. This up here with the hair attached to it, that head at the top forgets every single time it can. It don't remember nothing. Stop using it. Start using the one that always sprouting up something when you just out riding. And you know it didn't come from your mind up here. It came from your mind down in the belly. It sprouted up. That's the power of God. That's the miracles. The miracles is that outside people who think outside, gonna always think that, oh, did you just get that from the top of your head? No. The belly always has something that it sprouts up with. And that's what you come out with. You shoot out with. And that's when it becomes holy. Some holy stuff. And a lot of people not going to be able to withstand that because those are God's miracles. And miracles, the works of God is his miracles. His miracles. That's the works. That when God tell you to do your work, do your work. Do your work. That means what's in that belly? Let it come up. Because we ain't supposed to have stuff to go down. It's supposed to come up. Everything goes up. Even when the mind can't even take it, you are supposed to allow belly to feed you and feed your mind and take over mind. That's the miracle. That's the work. You don't got to do nothing else other than that. Follow behind Christ. What's coming from that belly is from Christ. And believe me, follow behind him. Flesh has to follow behind him. Has to. Or there will be a disturbance. So, I will stop right there and I will come back and continue this tomorrow. So take what I've said already thus far that you need and work with it. And I'll be back tomorrow for part 4. And what's tomorrow? Tomorrow's Thursday. Part 4. I'll be back for part 4 tomorrow. And I'm just praying that you get some of what I've said already, because it's really like a long drawn out thing. And I know that Facebook and YouTube, I don't know how long they're gonna let you do something. So I think it's 3 hours for Facebook, but I don't know how long for YouTube. So anyway, that's why I'm kind of trying to break them down so it won't go off on me while I'm trying to get most majority of these words out to you. So take this video and rewatch it, and hopefully you'll understand what's in this video, because I seen in the spiritual realm when I conquered what my mind was trying to do. Okay. My belly, as I was as what was in the belly, God was showing me that there are many men who are starting to rise up in this time. And it's a lot of people not liking that. There are a lot of men rising up in God at this time. And the enemy is not liking that. They're not liking that at all. Because yesterday I was wondering, why did somebody do what they did, reported me, and then all my content is gone. But the content that I did on another page, they couldn't take it, because that I did that on a different page. But the Father told me, because all of the men, they are waking up from women like me. They are starting to wake up and go out here with honors. I've seen so many men just changing their life around. Like, I seen it to the point where I was crying. I was crying because it's a privilege to have a man as a child. And please don't stand on that word, because I don't mean a grown man as a child. Okay. I mean, when I look at my son, because I have a son, it's a privilege to have a man as a child, a young man who's soon to be a man as a child. And I told this story before about how when I had him, I was so scared, because I knew. I said, Father, do not give me a son. At that time, I said, do not give me a son first. Let me get myself together first, God, because I knew, based off of what God told me back at that time, that to have a son, it takes a strong woman. You got to be a strong woman to do that. Which is why I know, Joshua, go in the kitchen and go get that from the kitchen. Oh, sorry. So anyway, back to what I was saying. Excuse me. My son just told me to get your own video. But yeah. Anyway, so it's just such a privilege to have a son, and it really truly is. And when my son was with me and his dad, and me and his dad were on good terms, he saw the power of that. And we were living in the same house, We were living in the same house, and we were a powerful source. We were really, if I really look at it, we were powerful together. We were very powerful together, and nobody liked that. I saw it, but the convincing was on the man to take him out of the household and to have him to come back and eliminate us. So now it's like the enemy is at our footsteps trying to get us to go back at him. And I'm not. I refuse to do that. I would be no better than him by doing him the same way that he would do me. That's not going to work. No. I refuse to do that. I refuse to do that. Because again, I saw at the very beginning when me and his dad were together how powerful my son was. My son was very powerful. And then once me and his dad departed, other things started happening. And then once his dad wasn't getting his way, then he started resorting to talk to me crazy and do different things to me. And I didn't understand what was happening, but all it took for him to do is to be willing to tell me what it was. But he never did. He just always just started yelling and all that. I was willing. I was a willing vessel because I seen how powerful our son was, but he didn't. So if he can't see it, I can't make him see it. If I tell him that with him being in my life, how powerful our son is, he'll think that he'll get the big head and start saying, "Oh, you need me to make you need." No, that's not that's childish. That's not how that goes. So I can't really, tell him that because he's not ready for that. He's still up here in the mind. And I can't deal with a man who's up here in the mind and not down in the belly and making commandments against this flesh of theirs that get weak. I can't do that. I refuse to do that. Stir up what's in the belly, men. Stop stirring up what's in the mind. Me and so many other women out here that are children of God. And I'm not talking about no woman that can dress up real well and got the looks of putting on this and that. Okay? I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about that woman. Because I can be that woman too. But I refuse to go there. Because I know that someone is going to love me and love me with what's in that belly and make a commandment against that flesh, which is the sparing of the rod, spoiling the child. They will not spoil that child no more because that child is going to grow that flesh. Okay? And they're going to not be so angry, not because of me, but of course they're going to be thinking that it's because of me, but they angry because of what they doing themselves. They won't be that way. They'll be able to communicate with me in the way that is the renewal of their mind. They're not going to want to let that go. They're going to want to be where they need to be, not where they not wanted and trying to make it be. You can't, no. And men make it be by women appearance. That's their way of making it be, by looking at a woman's appearance and how they dress and how they this and that, and not understand the spirit that's on the woman that you're supposed to be with. I don't understand it. But I have no control over, what particular men want. I have to make the decision on who I want to brand my brand with. And if the brand go together, we got it. We're unstoppable. This family here is unstoppable. And that's that. That's it. So stay blessed. Hope you get something out of this. But of course, I give it to it the way I want to give it. Hey, stay blessed and start making commandments with what's the bitterness in your belly, not what's in your mind. Because like I said, I had that dream and it was so much stuff sprouting from my mind to do against a man who knows what they're doing to the woman is wrong, but they refuse to stop. And I refuse to do what it is that is telling me to do. I refuse to do that. That's my mind. My renewal of what's in my belly, that's always been there. Okay? That's always been there. Always. So stay tuned for more as we keep going on with the perfection from the freedom of the night tales of the supernatural. This is the perfection version, okay? Because a lot of us are not understanding that we are already perfect. We just have to use what's in the belly and not what's in the mind and go off of what everybody else is saying. Go to yourself. Get in a space. Go to you and then build a relationship with God so that He can show you what you need to do. Stop going to people. They ain't going to help you. It's like, I don't understand. But again, stay blessed. Till tomorrow. Peace.